Whew, alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So I think this has been the first time in many months that I've actually been able to do a reaction review to the chapters for Shonen Jump pretty much almost as soon as it dropped. So I'm pretty excited for that. So as you can tell, we're going to be diving into One Piece in a second here. Just a few quick updates and notes before I dive into this I wanted to get to. So I'm going to do my best today to get out a video. It's going to be speculation mostly, basically on my thoughts on whether we really are in the climax of this arc at this point, and whether the raid on Onigashima will succeed or fail. So I'm firmly in the camp of I'm really hoping this raid is going to fail for a number of reasons, which I'll dive into in the video. But yeah, so I'll dive into it there because I really hope that's the direction it's going. Because right now it feels a little too lackluster. But we'll get into that. Right now I think it's also still a little bit too early to make that call. But I'll bring up some points of speculation about things I feel like Oda needs to address and all of that before this arc ends. So look forward to that hopefully coming out today, if not by tomorrow evening at the latest. And then next week, so I think it's been confirmed that next week One Piece is going to be going on break. I think it was confirmed with the note that Oda sent out on Twitter lately. Due to that, I'll also do my best next week. Instead of my normal reaction reviews to the chapter, I'll try to do my Oden video on analyzing his character and his arc and the shortcomings therein. So look forward to that. So without further ado, let us dive into One Piece chapter 979, Family Problem. So we have... Oh god. Oh god, I hurt myself laughing so hard. Oh man, I needed that. So committed. Oh boy, we have the continuation of Gang Bej's All My Family, Volume 26. The Tontadas find a ship adrift, and you see Pound on the Tart Ship 21, tattered sails just floating off the coast of Greenbit, just slumped over on the ship. Oh my god, Oda cannot help himself, can he? I'm so glad he's shitting on Whole Cake Island even after the arc is done and showing how crappy it was by just undercutting all of the good emotional moments about it. Oh, this is just glorious. Oh, now I just need the reveal that Pedro is alive so I can laugh even harder at everyone that's convinced that he was dead. Oh. And I really hope the next cover page is just going to reveal that Pedro is also on the ship with Pound is like on the other side of him, because that will just seal the deal for me. Oh, I needed that good laugh. So we have by Eiichiro Oda, translation by Stephen Paul, lettering by Vanessa Satone. And we have, at this moment, Orochi is dangerously complacent, and you see him palling around with some of the, I think it's the gifters from Kaido's crew, as they're feeding him sake. And he's laughing and leching and partying with a yeah ha 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 ha. Yes, thanks to the reports from his spy Kanjuro, he knows everything. And you see a little Kanjuro's such a dick. You see this really well drawn sparrow coming off. I assume it's a drawn sparrow, not a real one. Coming to drop off notes to him. As the narrator continues, that the Akazai are up to. His plan is perfect. The samurai's retribution has been completely headed off. No longer will he be tormented by the ghosts of the Kozuki clan. But contrary to his belief, the raid on Onigashima begins. Kinemon leads the eastern forces. Denjiro leads the southern forces. Their total manpower exceeds 5,000. And you see Lost Pirate Submarine proceeds carrying the Akazaya Samurai under the sea. Excuse me. They move about undetected, converging on Kaido and Orochi. So you see Kaido's castle is either at the top or the back of the Onigashima little giant skull. You see Lost Submarine going around the corner to get in through the back, and you see Kinemon and Kanjuro's forces, or Kinemon and Denjiro's forces doing a pincer movement as well. And you see Kanjuro is on his way to the castle with Momonosuke held hostage, but as Kinemon correctly guessed, he had not yet made his way to Orochi's side. And you see Kanjuro with the roped up and tied to Momonosuke wandering through some tunnels, going, I've never been in these tunnels. I had no idea it would be so confusing. From the guard's perspective, I'm just another one of the enemy samurai. I don't have time to deal with them. You see Kanjuro's knocked out some of the goons. At the guard entrance, and he goes, I need to report on what Kinemon is up to. But how do I get to Lord Orochi? And you see Momonosuke looking down at one of the defeated guards, and he sees a little short sword knife on the ground lying next to them. He's just looking up at Kanjuro to see if he's distracted. So I'm guessing at some crucial point he'll probably cut himself free and maybe stab Kanjuro with the sword before he escapes. And you have the enemy still doesn't know that an army of over 5,000 is bearing down upon them. And you see more of them in the castle partying, drinking, eating, having a good time. And you have everyone left. And Frankie's like, don't worry, we'll catch up. And Jimbei goes, I saw these things in the battle at Fishman Island. And Frankie gets all mad. He's like, they're not things, Jimbei. It's the Black Rhino, Frankie Unit 4. He's like, but you can call it Black Rhino. And the Brachio Tank 5. And you have cute little adorable Chopper going, I'm Commander Chopper and I run this tank. And Nami going, yay, now we can travel safely. And Kara's like, oh, you look so cool, Cho, bro. I can't believe this was on the Sunny the whole time. And he goes, you're in good hands, soldier. And you have Frankie asking, hey, where did Luffy go? Jimbei goes, well, he saw Eustace Kid and his crew run right toward the front door, so... Of course, you have Luffy going, they have no idea what Kinemon's plan is. Don't worry, I'll go and bring him back. And of course, the Straw Hats are all freaking out, going, that's only going to make things worse. And you have Jimbei trying to calm him down, going, but then Roronoa Zoro said, Luffy's only going to make things worse. I'll go stop him. And of course, they freak out, going, he's only going to get lost. Honestly, after 900 chapters, these gags fall a little bit flat. God. And of course, you have Shit G going, but who cares about those idiots? This is our chance for a little rendezvous on the battlefield, Nami. As he tries to jump onto the tank. And you see Shit G getting screwed as you see for all full as Usopp's manning the tank. And he's got Nami, Carrot, Shinobu, and Chopper in there with him. And of course you have Shitji freaking out like the semi-incel he is, going, get out of there, Usopp, who said you could be in heaven? And Usopp just snaps back, you gonna aim this cannon better than me? Give it up, man. And you have, And you have Frankie going, want to take a ride? Back seat's open. And Robin's like, oh, are you offering? How nice. Oh boy, I love this gag. It's a dumb gag, but I love this gag. And you have Brooke jumping on the back going, that's very kind of you. And Frankie's freaking out going, why is it you? The back seat's for chicks. Brooke's like, there's nothing wrong with some good male bonding. Yo! And you see Frankie calling, Commander Chopper, let's fall out and dock up at the rear of the island. Over and out. And you see Chopper just crying, tears streaming down his face. He's doing a little thumbs up. And you have, oh my god, well shit, G just shut his stupid mouth. He goes, hey Robin, come up here and sit with me. And she's like, no thank you. Ugh, man. Oda really needs to learn the lesson that skimpy does not equal sexy. I guess a lot of people get off to this Robin image. It does nothing for me. She does not look hot like this. And I think she goes, the top of the tank is bound to get dusty. Let's just walk. Yes. And Jimbei, oh yeah, Jinbei's sticking back with Robin because he knows what's up. As he goes, you folks are as lively as ever. But when everyone is worked up about fighting, the key will be having someone who can calmly observe the state of the battle. And Robin goes, what a mature point of view. It's good to have you with us. And he goes, I want to make myself useful for my first battle on the crew. Oda just said Jinbei Robin shippers are the only ones that have rights. I am validated. And you see behind them with a rustle as someone's watching from the bushes as they're walking away. No idea who that is. As you have back in Kaido's castle, it's like, hey, all of you. And you have, was it Ulti going, eek, it's Master Kaido himself, what an honor. Ever so long time, no see. And you have page one going, you know that's not how a fancy lady actually talks, right? And you have Kaido going, are you enjoying your drinks? And Sasaki goes, I got nothing to gain from drinking with scrubs. I only want to drink with you, Kaido. And he goes, sure, sounds good. We'll go to the hall later. Today is all about mingling freely. I was planning to introduce you to Lin Lin, but she's still changing. We can do that later. But while we've been carrying on, something's come up. That's why you were forced to wait. And Nolte's like, come on, get it together already. And page one's like, knock it off. And you have Kaido going, I know, but the thing is, it wasn't me who summoned you here. And they're like, huh? Then who asked for us? And you see, it was me, Diamante. Now, his king shows up and goes, I called for them, Kaido. As you see Animal Kingdom Pirates lead performer King. Kaido goes, King. And Who's Who goes, King, this was your idea? Goes, that's right. Some of you wouldn't bother to show up if you knew that ahead of time, wouldn't you? Who's Who, Sasaki. And Who's Who's silent. And Sasaki goes, yeah, you got me. And King continues, you're formerly captains of your own pirate crews. I know that you're angling for a spot among the lead performers. It's... I like this. This organization is a meritocracy. You climb the ranks with skill. And they go, of course we're aiming high. It's like, shut up and stay in your place. It's like, hey, knock off. Hey, knock off the fighting. This is a celebration. Speak up, King. Why did you summon them? And King goes, I summoned them because I got tipped off about your problem. I thought they might be needed. Kaido's silent before he goes, that's a good point. It was Bao Hong, recite the day schedule. And you say, yes, sir. As the woman starts falling from above in the ceiling. And she goes, Master Queen is currently emceeing the show on the Golden Festival stage. But after that, the 3 elite performers in Fukuroja will be holding a toast. And then Shogun Orochi and Master Kaido will give a speech. And upon the arrival of the Big Mom pirate ship, we will have Master Kaido and Big Mom join together to formally announce the world's strongest pirate alliance. Following that, Master Kaido will have a very important announcement. That is all. And you have Flying Squirrel Smile Fruit, Animal Kingdom Pirates headliner Bao Hong. And you have Kaido going, an important announcement. It's not like you to play coy, Master Kaido. That's Ulti's going, an important announcement. It's not like you to play coy, Master Kaido. It's ever so annoying. And he's like, yeah, I know, but if I lead with that, it'll only cause confusion. In short, this is the task I want you to perform. I need you to find and bring back my idiot son, Yamato, who disappeared earlier today. Black Maria goes, that sounds like a formidable task. I take it that your major announcement involves young Master Yamato? And he goes, that's correct. And they're like, I see. And Ulti's like, what a pain. It is your stupid family problem. And Paige is like, hey. And Who's Who, no, I think is that Who's Who? Asks, yeah, what happens if we bring him back safely? And Kaido goes, I'll give you the right to directly challenge any lead performer of your choosing. How about that? And it's like, are you kidding? I'm in. And you have Kaido looking at his 3 as he goes, any complaints? And you see Jack and King going, none at all. As Who's Who goes, heh. I'll get back to that because I noticed something about Who's Who I want to point out. And you see Funk, It's like, now scream. As you see Luffy going, it's the guy from Udon. And he's just crouching on the head of one of the gifters. As he goes, now where did he go, stupid Jaggy? He doesn't even know the first thing about Odan's struggle. What if he screws everything up? And he goes, hey, have you seen Jaggy? And the trunk guy's like, Jaggy? Who? He's like, have I seen you somewhere before? And then Luffy jumps off. He's like, oh, look at all this tasty food, though. And you see a quack as a pot of something black gets dumped on his head. He's like, ew, what is this? It's Oshiruko. Who wants to eat that crap while we're drinking? And you see Luffy going, oh, as he sees the food being spilled on the ground. He goes, Oshiruko. And you have the Kaido's forces going, they made too much of it in the kitchen, so they bought some out here. It's sweet. You can have that with drinks. Excuse me. One of the guys just kicks it over and goes, dump out that sweet red bean soup. It's useless here. Toss it out in front of Okabore Town. Gah! Ha ha! And you see Luffy just silently looking down at his, you hear, good idea. They'll happily suck the dirt dry. And he thinks back to Tama going, you never had that stuff before? Or him asking Tama, you never had that stuff before? And her crying never. She's happily just munching down on it. And you have, gah! Those beggars should be happy they're alive at all. And you see him thinking back to Tama going, what an extravagant food. I've never have such a nice birthday again. Oh, man. Alright. This has been a long time since I've actually felt like Luffy has been Luffy. And I love that angry, pissed off expression as he sees all of Kaido's forces just getting, like, wasting this food that they take for granted. Oh, I love that expression. Our next chapter hits May 24th. So, alright, so quick review, I guess, and some speculation stuff to dive into. So first, feelings on the chapter. This has been, like, I'm like 70-30 on the chapter. Because overall it was enjoyable. Like, there was some good bits in there, some good crew interactions and bonding. Still, the pacing is still a little bit really slow. Like, I get that Oda's, I guess this is where we get to the idea of, like, you know, is this going to be the final conflict or not? And if so, it makes sense why Oda's taking his time to try to get all the pieces into place, you know, and settle all the plot points, etc., etc. So based on that, I can understand why it's going so slow. That said, like, this chapter does more to convince me that the raid really is going to fail. I mean, I know the narrative and everything kind of gives the opposite impression with how complacent Orochi has become, and the fact that everything seems to be going according to the samurai's plan. You know, where the pinstring movement in around Kaido's forces. Apparently Kaido's forces are not paying attention to what's going on around them at all. You know, they're drinking, partying, all that. They don't seem to have been noticed that they've been boarded and raided. So I feel like Oda's kind of say that, you know, Kaido's being overconfident, it's going to lead to his downfall, etc. But then to contrast that, we have like the very lackadaisical attitudes of the Straw Hat, who are like, with, you know, as much as I love the Jinbei Robin interaction, it really feels like, you know, they're not taking this very seriously. As they're like, oh, we'll just take a casual stroll and go meet up with them, you know, and we'll help out with the raid and the battle start. It really feels at odds with how major this battle and this conflict is, and how important it is really to the future of Wano and everything else. So it feels like the Straw Hats are really taking it too easy, considering that they're supposed to be going up against two emperors and their combined forces. It feels a little bit off. And I want to believe that it's a deliberate move on Oda's part to kind of set the mood and lull the readers into a false sense of security before he kind of drops the hammer down and everything starts going to shit. But honestly, just with the general pacing and everything else of Wano and like Oda's desire to seem like to rush the story to its conclusion, I can't discount the idea that he really is going to rush it, and the lackadaisical stuff is just kind of an offshoot of that. of that kind of mindset. So I have to really see, because right now I still think it's too early to call what direction the story's going to go from here. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm going to try to do a little speculation video on why I think the raid is going to fail, but honestly, I really am 50-50 on that, whether it will fail or succeed. But Straw Hats being so blasé about it is. It doesn't feel right, but like I said, that might be a deliberate move on Oda's part or not. We'll have to wait and see. Thought that hit me while I was reading this with Jimbei Robin that I might bring up more in my speculation video. I wonder if the mysterious person watching them from the bushes is Yamato. Because we know from Kaido's goons and his forces and whatnot that his son is apparently missing somewhere. And with Kanjuro talking about how there's all these like tunnels and hidden entrances to Onigashima, it makes me wonder if his son is a good escape artist and he knows the ins and outs of how to get in and out of the castle without being detected. So I wonder if that's the son that's watching them, and if that means he's gonna be an enemy of Kaido. Because a bunch of ideas are now bouncing around inside my head about what his role could be in the fights going forward. But I do like the Kaido's forces kind of organized around this idea of like, might is right and you kind of just beat your way to the top with pure strength. I think that's one of the elements that's definitely been missing in the arc thus far, is just Oda characterizing Kaido's forces and his crew to the extent that he's normally done for past villains. Because right now, a lot of them have been very, very bland and they haven't really presented a threat. Because I think Jack, when he was first introduced, was posed as a threat, with Cat Viper and Dogstorm having so much trouble taking him out. The fact he went head to head with a bunch of admirals to try to take back Doflamingo. And ever since then, it seems like Oda's been downplaying how much of a threat Jack has been, with him having first gotten defeated by Zanesha, then having been pretty easily defeated by, I don't want to say defeated, but pretty easily cut down by Ashura Doji. And then just by how easily he seemed to have been taken down, or how much the other two, King and Queen, looked down on him. And even Queen so far has just been played up to be too much of a joke and not really a threat. Because I know, Queen got taken down by Big Mom, so it makes sense that she was more powerful. And of course, he'd be going down, he's only, a step below them, etc. But it doesn't really feel like Oda's established that these are people to take very seriously, that pose like a tangible physical threat to the Straw Hats or any of their allies. So I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more of that characterization rather than just this kind of one-dimensional caricature of what these characters are like. And like King, we know almost absolutely nothing about King thus far. It also seems like, again, I don't know if this is an element of Oda just doesn't feel like he has the time to flesh out King like he does, or it might be that he's waiting for an opportune moment to kind of characterize King better. But also, given the fact that he's introducing so many different characters, I feel like this is again where we get to the problem of Oda's creativity being a double-edged sword. We kind of have to rein in his worst impulses. Because I'm not saying his character designs and stuff aren't creative, but I'm saying he needs to kind of restrict how many unnecessary characters he introduces to the plot at any one time. It kind of diminishes the screen time for everyone else that really is integral to the overall plot. So again, too early to tell. Like right now, the way the raid and conflict is going, we could get more screen time with them as the Straw Hats and their other forces are infiltrating the castle. Well, we shall see. The one curious little thing that struck me is both Who's Who and that Bao Hong, the headliner, seem to have that same eye symbol somewhere. Because that Bao Hong's wearing like a little face mask or something with this little eye symbol on it. And I noticed that Who's got the same one tattooed on his chest. So I wonder if Bao Hong was part of Who's crew before he joined forces with Kaido, and then she became part of the Animal Kingdom pirates. So I wonder if that's like the signifier for everyone from his crew, is they have that eye symbol. I don't know if there's like symbolism or some kind of meaning behind it, but just thought that was interesting. And like I said at the end, did love the moment with Luffy kind of going back to, I don't want to say original Luffy, but kind of finally getting that seriousness and the rage I kind of like really admired about him a lot in the early pre time skip series that I feel like we've been missing a lot in post time skip. So I really loved that aspect of it. I'm hoping we get to see more of it. So that said, really hoping this is the start of One Piece kind of starting to feel like One Piece again. But we'll have to wait and see which direction the conflict is going to kind of go from, for what shape the conflict is going to take going forward from here. Like I said, I'll try to do a speculation video today on some unaddressed plot points that are still left in this arc that I feel like Oda needs to tie up. If anyone else feels differently, if you think Raid will fail or succeed, you can let me know in the comments below why your thoughts are like that. You know, what you think is going to happen. I'd love to read some of your speculation. And until next time, this is Ash. I will talk to you all later.